basically semiconductors are the materials whose conductivity lies between those of metals and insulators. The metals are highly conductive, means the electrical current very easily flows through metals. But if you consider insulators, practically no current flows through these materials, or they are also called as bad conductors. Therefore, the semiconductors are neither good conductors nor insulators, and their conductivity lies between those of metals and semiconductors. Let us see the classification of semiconductors. Such semiconductors are basically classified in two groups, that is intrinsic semiconductors and extrinsic semiconductors. आता कोणाला आत घेऊ नको, दार बंद करणे. Semiconductors are classified as intrinsic semiconductors and extrinsic semiconductors. Now, what do we mean by intrinsic semiconductors? So, semiconductors in their pure forms are called as intrinsic semiconductors. For example, if we consider silicon and germanium, these are the fourth group elements. These are called as pure semiconductors. So, what is the speciality of these pure semiconductors? If you consider these materials at absolute 0 degree Kelvin, the resistivity of these materials is as good as insulators. They don't have any conductivity. This is because, let us see the atomic structure of germanium. In case of germanium, let us see the electronic configuration. This is the first orbit, this is second orbit, this is the third orbit, and this is the last orbit that we usually call it as a valence orbit. So we see that in case of germanium, there are 4 electrons in the valence orbit, and one atom of germanium forms a covalent bond with other atom of germanium by sharing of electrons, because in order to complete its octet, the germanium atom requires 4 more electrons. So, 2 atoms of germanium, each atom will share 4 electrons in the bonding, and by sharing of electrons, there is a covalent bonding. Therefore, we see that all the 4 electrons are engaged in covalent bonding. As a result, there is no free electron available in case of germanium at absolute 0. So we are discussing at absolute 0. So at absolute 0, all the 4 electrons or valence electrons are involved in covalent bonding. Therefore, there is no free electron available in germanium material. And therefore, if we consider the conductivity of this material at absolute 0, it is 0, because no free electron is available in this material for conduction of electricity. Therefore, at absolute 0, the conductivity of the germanium or silicon is 0, or they behave as a bad conductor. But if we increase the temperature of the material, what will happen? Some of the covalent bonds will be broken and we get free electron. So when one covalent bond breaks, so these are the bonds between germanium atoms, and these are the 2 electrons shared between these 2 atoms. If we increase the temperature of the material, what will happen? This bond will be broken and the electron will be free. So we get free electron as well as a vacancy of the electron. Okay, so we have formation of electron and hole pairs because of breaking of bonds, and these bonds are broken by means of thermal agitation. So as the temperature of the material, semiconducting material increases, its conductivity also go on increasing. Means their resistivity decreases. As temperature increases, resistance decreases. Therefore, the semiconductor materials have negative temperature coefficient. Means the resistance decreases with increase in temperature. But in case of metals, if we increase the temperature of the metal, the resistance of the metal also increases. So in case of metals, there is a positive temperature coefficient of resistance. While in case of semiconducting materials, there is a negative temperature coefficient of resistance. The same is the situation in case of silicon. So in case of silicon, we also find that there are 4 electrons in its valence orbit. Therefore, silicon also forms covalent bonds with its neighboring atoms. So absolute zero, the conductivity of silicon is also zero. But as the temperature increases due to thermal agitation, electron hole pairs are formed, and these free electrons now take part in the conduction mechanism. So in case of semiconductor, the conductivity increases with increase in temperature. Now let us see another category. So this is again the situation shown in case of intrinsic semiconductors, that is either germanium or silicon. 4 electrons are there in case of silicon, 4 electrons are there in case of germanium. So if you see the periodic table, what do you find? The elements which are existing 4th group of the periodic table, they contain 4 electrons in their valence orbit. Therefore, all the elements which are existing in group 4 in periodic table are intrinsic semiconductor. Their conductivity is 0 at absolute 0, and it increases with increase in temperature. Therefore, the important points regarding the intrinsic semiconductors are extremely pure form without impurity, that is called as intrinsic semiconductor. Conductivity increases with temperature. Thermally generated charge carriers, that is electron hole pairs, are formed, and they have got negative temperature coefficient of resistance. And the examples of these intrinsic semiconductors are usually 4th group elements. Now let us see what we mean by extrinsic semiconductor. So when the pure semiconductor is doped with external impurity, it is called as extrinsic semiconductor. Means external impurity is present in pure germanium or silicon material, then it is called as extrinsic semiconductor. So there are 2 types of extrinsic semiconductor. That is, first type is N type of semiconductor, and another type is P type semiconductor. Now let us see N type of semiconductor. So here in this diagram, we have the germanium atoms. They form covalent bonds with their neighboring atoms. Now what we do? We add the impurity from the 5th group of the periodic table. What is the speciality of these 5th group elements? They contain 5 electrons in their valence orbit. For example, arsenic, antimony or phosphor. These are the 5th group elements from the periodic table, and they contain 5 electrons in their valence orbit. So when such an impurity is doped or mixed with the pure germanium material, what will happen? Germanium atom has got 4 valence electrons. For example, if we consider arsenic, that is the pentavalent impurity, it has got 5 electrons in its valence orbit. So out of 5 electrons of the arsenic, 4 electrons will be involved in the bonding. They form here. This is the arsenic atom which has got 5 electrons. So out of 5, 4 electrons are shared with neighboring 4 germanium atoms, and the extra electron, 5th electron of the arsenic, remains as it is. It is not involved in the bonding, and therefore this electron is now free. Why free? Because it is not involved in the bonding. So for every arsenic atom, we get one extra electron which is acting as a free. So if we dope the germanium, usually of the order of 10 raised to 23 atoms are doped. So we get that much amount of free electrons. And these free electrons now take part in the conduction mechanism. So we increase the conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor like germanium or silicon by adding external impurity into pure material. The advantage is that the number of free electrons in this doped material will increase, and these free electrons will take part in the electrical conduction mechanism, and therefore the conductivity of the material increases. So the conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor is controlled by adding proper amount of external impurity. If we add a pentavalent impurity, then there is excess of electrons. So in this doped material, what is our observation? The majority charge carriers are now in this case are the electrons, because electrons are now taking part in the electrical conduction. So remember, in case of N-type semiconductor, the majority charge carriers are these free electrons, which are responsible for increase in the conductivity of the material. So this impurity, arsenic, is called as donor impurity. It is called as donor impurity because it donates one electron to this pure germanium crystal, which is acting as a free electron. Therefore, remember the important points. In order to form N-type semiconductor, we have to dope germanium, pure germanium or pure silicon with pentavalent impurity. Then this impurity is called as the donor impurity. And what is the result? We get large number of free electrons in the material. Therefore, the majority charge carriers in N-type of semiconductor are electrons. Electrons have got a negative charge, and therefore we use N-type semiconductor. Okay, the speciality of the N-type semiconductor is number of maximum free electrons which are taking part in the conduction mechanism. Then next extrinsic type of semiconductor is P-type of semiconductor. P-type of semiconductor. Again, we consider the example of germanium. All the atoms of germanium are covalently bonded, so there is no free electron. Now what we are doing now? Now if such a crystal is doped with trivalent impurity. Trivalent means there are 3 electrons in its valence orbit. Okay. So when we add such impurity like gallium, examples are aluminum, boron, indium, gallium. These are the third group elements from the periodic table. So they contain 3 electrons in their valence orbit. When such an impurity is added in germanium, what will happen? This gallium atom, which has got 3 electrons. So what will happen? These 3 electrons, one goes here, one goes here, one goes here. Okay. But here we find that there is a deficiency of 1 electron, because actually we require 4 electrons to form 4 covalent bonds with the neighboring atom. So what is observed in one bond? Here we find that there is a deficiency of electron. So this deficiency of electron or absence of electron in a bond is called as a hole. So here hole is formed. This is because of trivalent impurity. So in P-type of semiconductor, instead of electrons, what we are creating? We are creating deficiency. So when we have the increase in the temperature, what will happen? One of the bond will broken and this electron will fill this vacancy. This electron will move from this position to this position. So what will happen? In place of that electron, again vacancy will be created. Okay. So in this way, in P-type of semiconductor, we feel that the hole is moving through the material. Actually, the current is carried by the electrons. Okay, but the electrons are now moving because of the vacancy available for the electron to move. So we increase the number of such vacancies or holes in the material by doping it with trivalent impurity. So we can increase the conductivity of the material either by increasing the number of free electrons or by creating the deficiency of the electron or holes. Okay. So conclusion, we increase the conductivity of pure intrinsic semiconductor by adding external impurity either from the fifth group or from the third group. So when you add fifth group elements, you increase the number of electrons. When you add the trivalent impurity, you create the deficiencies or holes in the material. Here, what are the charge carriers? Here, the charge carriers are now holes. Actually, the current is carried out by the electrons. Remember, holes never carries the current. But electrons are now moving because of the vacancy available for the electron to move. Okay. Now, what are the advantages of these semiconductor devices? Because nowadays in electronics, we are using number of electronic devices like PN junction diode, Zener diode, transistor, light emitting diode, Varieter diode. So there are number of diodes. So all these diodes are fabricated by using semiconductor devices. Therefore, let us see what are the advantages of semiconductor devices over vacuum tubes. Because before year 1947, we are using vacuum tubes in electronics. Means in radios, in TVs, or any other electronic gadgets, we are using vacuum tubes. So these vacuum tubes are replaced by these semiconductor devices after the invention of transistor in 1947. So after year 1947, there is a dramatic change in the electronic industry. So the invention of transistor is the milestone in the history of electronics. So that changes the total scenario in electronics, electronic telecommunication, then computer technology. The size of the device is also reduced too much. Then we have the IC technology, integrated circuit technology, large scale integration, very large scale integration. So within a small space, thousands of components can be fitted. And due to that, there is a reduction in size of electronic devices. So let us see what are the important advantages of semiconductor devices over vacuum tubes. So the first advantage is small in size and light in weight. Because the size of transistor is very small as compared with the size of the vacuum tubes. So weight is reduced, size is reduced. Therefore, the total size of the device or instrument is reduced too much. That is the advantage. No heating element, because in case of valves or vacuum tubes, there is a filament, and that filament should be heated to produce the electrons. But in semiconductor devices, there is no such sort of filament. No filament is required. So the low power consumption. When there is a heating of filament, large electrical power is required. But in transistor, there is no filament. Semiconductor devices, filaments are not used. So the power consumption is low. No warm up time, because there is no heating. So there is no question of warm time. As soon as you switch on, immediately the device starts working. But if you see the old age radios, which make use of hogs, when you switch on the radio, you don't hear the sound immediately, because that vacuum tube or valve is firstly to be heated. The filament should heat, then it start electrons, emission of electrons, then current flows, and then device start working. So it requires some time. That is a delayed time. But such time delays are not observed in case of semiconductor device. We see that as soon as we switch on the radio, immediately you get the sound, because there is no heating element in nowadays transistors, TVs, etc. Then these devices operate on low voltage. You can operate the radio on 1.5 volt. You can operate a radio on 6 volts, 9 volts. Okay. Even your mobile works on the voltage of 5 volts, or most of the digital devices works on 5 volts. So the power requirement is low. The power consumption is also low. And they have long life. Because if you consider the vacuum tubes, there is a filament. If the filament burns, you have to throw the component. But in case of transistor, there is no such filament. So its life is also more as compared with olden devices. Then high speed of operation. That is also important, because we can increase the conductivity of these materials. They offer low resistance to the electrical current, and therefore the speed of working speed is more as compared with vacuum tubes. Complementary devices are possible. Basically, we have a semiconductor. It may be P-type, it may be N-type. So by making the combination of P-type and N-type semiconductors, you can form number of other devices. Like we have a transistor, which is also formed by using 3 regions, PN, P region, NPN region. You can have a PN junction diode. You may have a LED, light emitting diode. You have a Zener diode. So by making slight change in its design or fabrication process, we can have number of such electronic devices. Okay, so that is again the advantage. Then we can have the integrated circuits are possible with semiconductors only. Integrated. Why integrated? Because within a small area, we can accommodate large number of components. Therefore, it is called as integrated. Within a small space, you can accommodate large number of transistors, PN junction diodes, Zener diodes. So the size is reducing, and therefore number of devices are increasing in the same space. And therefore we find that nowadays the size of electronic gadgets is reduced too much. That is because of the semiconductor devices. So these are some of the advantages of semiconductor devices over vacuum tubes. Okay, the cost is too low. A transistor costs about 5 rupees or 10 rupees. Even if you go to the market and ask for the PN junction diode, it costs rupees 1. That is available to 1 rupees only. So vacuum tubes 50 rupees. But transistor, diode, they are within 5 or 10 rupees. So the cost is also reduced